Part 212. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei-Shi Niang. Chapter 2112. Zhang Xiangbei, you did a good job this time, the senior said to Zhang Xiangbei. I have been observing your fresh delivery and fighting against the old horse. In today's terms, such a big melon, how could I not watch? To be honest, seeing Lao Ma attack so harshly makes me worried for you. However, I admire your ability to dodge and counter-attack in an orderly manner. Thank you, Senior, Zhang Xiangbei smiled lightly. Whether the senior is worried or not is unknown to others, but the concern is certain. After all, he is very interested in Zaixianshui and has always wanted to invest in Zaixianshui. Mr. Zhang, is it you, a veteran, who will hold the battle from behind this time? The senior asked Zhang Chen. Not really. I can't even intervene if I want to, Zhang Chen said. The senior didn't believe it. He looked at Xiao Fang and Lu Yun. Lu Yun said from the side. Really, we did come up with an idea. The idea we came up with was to go against the Daily Fresh. They were a bit too bullying. Then it plays into Lao Ma's hands. He likes to do this the most, said the senior. So, it was completely rejected by Bei, Lu Yun said with a smile. He started a new business. Sharp. The senior became interested and asked Zhang Xiangbei, how do you know that you should avoid his sharp edge? Zhang Xiangbei was a little embarrassed. He said, it's nothing special. I just feel that I don't have as much money as him. If I compare the money with him, I will definitely not be able to burn him. I can only choose the lowest cost. Very good intuition. The senior clicked his tongue and nodded appreciatively. Come on, Zhang Xiangbei, let's clink. The senior raised his cup and said to Zhang Xiangbei, this time, you can be regarded as a face for us at Yale. That old horse, who went to a bad school by himself, always, they like to put on airs and look down on those of us who have come back from outside. They like to talk nonsense. Turtles need to be raised in the soil. Can't we never leave the soil? Zhang Xiangbei laughed. He raised his glass and touched it with his senior. He drank the wine in one gulp. The senior took a big sip, looked at Zhang Xiangbei and said, you still have a good drinking capacity. I can't do it like this. Zhang Xiangbei said quickly, no, it's up to you. 4 of the 5 people present here are shareholders of Diet Men and Women, so the topic naturally quickly turned to Diet Men and Women. The senior came to Hangzhou this time mainly for food and drink. The valuation of the B round of food and drink is 3.28 billion yuan. It will not be a problem to attract new investors and raise funds. The senior and Xiao Fang and Lu Yun both have a lot of resources. What troubles them is still the problem. The senior and Zhang Chen said. Mr. Zhang, you can't make the company what it is now without a shortage of money. We have done several rounds on our own and had no problem raising funds. Investors are more interested and confident in such a company and management team, but in the end if you want to prepare for listing, you won't be able to pass other people's qualification review. The senior's words were exactly the same as Xiaofang's. Zhang Chen thought to himself, why do you all invest in the same style? Zhang Chen smiled and said, no way, I'm used to it. To be honest, if the company doesn't make money or the debt ratio is high, I will be really anxious. Shouldn't it be like this? Yes and no, the senior said half of the sentence, and the other half of the sentence was yes, at least not now. The reason why seniors and Xiao Fang want to bring this matter up now is that they all know that according to the business model of eating men and women, it is destined to be a business with low assets, low inventory, high net worth, and high turnover. A company, that is, a company that has no need to go public to raise funds as reflected in its financial statements. For such a company, it will definitely be difficult for the exchange to pass. But the purpose of investors investing in Diet Man and Woman is for it to be listed. Only after it is listed can its price-earnings ratio reach dozens or hundreds of times, and investors' investment funds will be amplified accordingly. At that time, they will continue to hold it. Or cash out, is the freedom of every investor. For them, the amount of profit is not the most important. As long as your profit level can meet the requirements of the exchange, you can write articles, and attract people to buy your stocks, it is enough. This round of pre-IPO investors, what they are interested in is not the dividends to shareholders, but the amplified premium part of the stock after listing, which is the big one. If a company wants to go public, it cannot just improvise. Even if you have to do some tricks, that is, adjust statements or financial planning, you have to do it in advance. It is best to do it before the year of the audit report required by the exchange. Otherwise, it will be easy to be seen through. Hands and feet. The low debt ratio of diet men and women will definitely become an increasingly prominent problem as time goes by. As it completes its layout in major cities across the country, the cash on its books will continue to grow. This is inevitable. The main costs of catering men and women are staff wages, site rent, and vehicle and equipment purchases. Because the site rent is not a commercial place, there are no special requirements for geographical location, and the rents are very cheap. The more remote cities you go, the staff wages and the rental of the venue is cheaper. Now, they have completed their layout or are under preparation in major cities across the country. Next, they will definitely develop into remote cities. Their investment will become smaller and smaller, and the cash on their books will accumulate more and more. They need to invest this part cash, and the cash brought in from this round of financing, to find a way out. Zhang Xiangbei, please help us come up with ideas, the senior said. Buy a house or land, Zhang Xiangbei said. In the core areas of core cities, a few projects can consume your cash, and this part of real estate has strong ability to add value and realize cash. Purchasing this part of real estate is not much different from depositing money in a bank. Several people's eyes lit up, and the senior said, "This is a good idea." The final result of their discussion was to buy a house or a house in the core area of the first-tier cities across the country in the name of building a food and drink flagship store. After buying it, they actually had no intention of actually building a flagship store. There is no need for this, it is mainly for asset reallocation. Land and houses are now hard currency. Keeping the money in the account is cash. Buying land or houses is fixed asset investment. In this way, cash is reduced. After acquiring the land, building a house, and then renting the house to other units, Zhang Xiangbei was right, it was not much different from putting money in a bank, but food and drink changed its gender from an asset-light company to this. The increase in property value plus the annual rental rent will definitely be higher than bank interest, which is more cost-effective than leaving money in the account. At the same time, there is no way to get a premium for cash, but land and houses can. After the land and houses are evaluated at a premium, the company can expand its scale. After the company goes public, this part of the house can be turned into cash again at any time. The capital flow of food and drinking men and women is very fast, and one day is one cycle. They do not need to have too much cash preparation at all. It is indeed a good choice to convert excess cash into real estate. There is one more thing we can do, Lu Yun said. The senior and Xiao Fang asked her what was going on. Lu Yun's suggestion is to buy art and entrust it to be stored in the Riverside Oil Painting Gallery after purchase. The advantage of buying art is that the price of art will rise a lot almost every time it is auctioned, and it can resist inflation. However, as a company asset, artwork can be depreciated annually. This will lead to a strange phenomenon, that is, on the company's books, the book value of these assets will become lower and lower due to annual amortized depreciation. In theory, it can eventually become zero. But in fact, art is becoming more valuable year by year. The two prices are separate. An asset with more and more depreciation shared can be sold to a specific person at its book value. This behavior is legal and legal. Standard, no flaws, although at this time, its actual value has become higher and higher. Certain people can then sell it at several times the price. This huge profit leaves a huge space for them to do with whatever they want. The most extreme thing is that a piece of art, as a company asset, after 10 to 15 years of amortized depreciation, it will become zero in the company's accounts and disappear, but in fact, it is still preserved in the Riverside oil painting pavilion is already sky-high price. Zhang Chen listened to what Xiaofang and Senior Lu Yun were talking about, and felt that it was eye-opening. It turned out that it could be handled this way. No wonder Xiaofang always said that companies are made, especially companies that are shown to banks and investors. In fact, they are made after report adjustment. In today's society, accounting firms, valuation companies, and audit firms can create something out of thin air and turn a shell company into a giant company that can still be listed on the market and go to banks for financing. Xiaofang once said to Zhang Chen. Zhang Chen asked, "Are those exchanges and banks so stupid? They don't know that this company is a shell company. They don't want to know, and they don't need to know." Xiaofang said, "Everyone manages things on paper, that is, they manage what they can see in front of them. As long as this is in compliance, he will have no problem. Brother Lu and sister Shuwen's company is listed. Have you seen people from Nasdaq come to Hangzhou? They will not come. If they come for on-site verification, they will bear all the legal responsibilities. Now, it is the audit the office helped them carry it. The same goes for banks. In fact, banks only need to go to the tax bureau and pull out the statements of companies applying for loans to see how much water there is. But they don't do it. Why? Because the companies themselves bear the risk of providing false materials. If you go to verify it, you will transfer the legal risk to yourself. Now you understand why we never read the statements provided by the company, but learn about the true situation of the company from other channels. Reports cannot reflect the true situation of the company. Of course, there are exceptions. Your half-acre field, the statement is very true, and why it is true is because you don't raise funds at all. Mr. Zhang, you are an expert in this field. There will definitely be no problem if you choose the artwork, the senior said to Zhang Chen. Zhang Chen listened to the seniors and Xiaofang Lu Yun talking non-stop, feeling worried in his heart. When he got home, he said to Xiaofang, "I think those of you who work in finance make simple things complicated. You play a game of left hand for right hand. Be careful and make yourself disabled." No, Xiaofang and Zhang Chen said, "It's just because there are laws and regulations. We need to do things perfectly and be legal and compliant, so we need to go around like this." Zhang Chen didn't say anything, but he felt that since it needed to go around like this, there was either a problem with the regulations or a problem with the people. Otherwise, why bother going around like this? As far as he is concerned, he still hopes to be simple and direct. Thank you for the reward for the third fish from top to bottom and the 2 fish from top to bottom. Thank you Zipanjiang 1, On the Road to a Nation, Sman, Wandering Crow's Feet, monthly tickets for Cao Xiaoman, Nanqi Iming 79, Wanhao 212, Dachuan. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all good health. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 2113. Ding Mianli drove Han Song from Shanghai to Hefei. On the same day, Ding Mianli called Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan to tell them that they had met Mr. Qian of the half-acre field Hefei Logistics Base, and Mr. Qian had been accompanying him. Follow us. Yesterday, when they were still in Shanghai, Ding Mianli asked Huo to call Mr. Qian and asked him to find a way to free up 1 or 2 warehouses in the logistics space. Where are you people? Have you arranged your accommodation? Wu Huan asked. It has been implemented, Ding said reluctantly. Tell me the phone number in the room. If there is an emergency at night, I can call you directly in the room, Wu Huan said. There's no phone in the room. Oh, Mr. Wu, I'm basically not in the room. If you call the room and you can't find me, just call my cell phone. I'm sure it's turned on, Ding said reluctantly. Has the factory building in Hefei been decided? Zhang Xiangbei asked. The location has been decided, but half of that house has been rented out. Mr. Qian and I did each other's work, and the other party agreed to vacate it and move it to another warehouse. Mr. Qian is leading the loading and unloading team to help them move things, and when they are empty, I will send you photos and floor plans, Ding said with all his strength. Zhang Xiangbei said, yes, thank you for your hard work. It's not hard, it should be, Ding said with all his strength. In the evening, Ding Jianli sent over the photos, videos, and floor plans of the warehouse, as well as the rental contract for the Hefei branch of Zaixian Shui and the Hefei logistics space of half-acre field. The rental contract was still missing. An official seal from the Hefei branch of Zaixian. Ding Mianli said that he and Mr. Qian had already agreed that the official seal would be replaced after our official seal came out, and the renovation of the house would begin immediately. Zhang Xiangbei said, yes, I will ask Sun Xiangyang to send the construction team there. This Ding Mianli moves very quickly, Wu Huan and Zhang Xiangbei said after putting down the phone. Yes, they just arrived in Hefei today, and the factory building was settled immediately. They moved very quickly indeed. Since he was fast there, Zhang Xiangbei had to be fast too. He called Sun Xiangyang and told him to make arrangements for the people sent to Hefei. I've already left. The high-speed rail to Hefei at 5:40 is now on the high-speed rail, Sun Xiangyang said. Already gone, Zhang Xiangbei was surprised. Who informed you, Ding Mianli? Yes, Ding Mianli kept calling me and asked the person in charge of design to come over immediately. I was almost driven to death by him. If he doesn't send someone over today, I won't even think about sleeping at night. He said he would pester me. Zhang Xiangbei laughed and hung up the phone. At noon the next day, Ding Mianli called them again. This time, others had arrived in Wuhu. Ding Mianli told them that the workshop in Wuhu was also located in the Wuhu logistics space of half-acre field. The contract, photos, and I'll send you the floor plan right away. In the evening of that day, Ding Mianli had arrived at Ma'anshan. Zhang Xiangbei was surprised when he heard this and asked. So fast, aren't you still in Wuhu at noon? Yes, Ma'anshan is right next to Wuhu. It only takes 40 minutes to drive there. We will leave after talking to you on the phone at noon, Ding Mianli said. Half Mutian does not have a logistics space in Ma'anshan, but Ding managed to tell them. The place has been found, Mr. Zhang and Mr. Wu. I will send you the agreement, photos, and floor plan. You can take a look. If there are no problems with the agreement and the rent, I will sign the agreement with them. Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan looked at each other. Ding Mianli moved so quickly in Wuhu. They understood that after all, in Wuhu, he went to the logistics space of half Mutian. All the logistics spaces of half Mutian in the country were very important to them. Fresh delivery at home is a priority arrangement, but they all have the same dad. But to be able to find a house so quickly in a place like Ma'anshan where they are unfamiliar with their lives was indeed beyond their expectation. So magical, Zhang Xiangbei asked, how did you do it? Ding Mianli smiled and said, I asked a lot of truck drivers in Hefei and Wuhu. They have all traveled to Ma'anshan and knew that there are several logistics spaces in Ma'anshan and where they are. I talked to these logistics spaces one by one on the road. If you don't have a house, you don't even have to go. Smart, Zhang Xiangbei couldn't help but praise. In the afternoon of the next day, Ding Mianli and Zhang Xiangbei Wu Huan said that the house in Anqing had also been settled. They drove from Ma'anshan to Anqing last night. Anqing did not have a logistics space with half an acre of land, so the driver helped. They introduced it. They visited 3 places in Anking today. This one is the best. I have sent the information to your email. This Ding Mianli, do you think he is deliberately showing off to us, or is he really risking his life? Wu Huan asked Zhang Xiangbei. Zhang Xiangbei said, all of them. If anyone is punished and doesn't hold his breath in his heart, he is no longer a human being. What does he have to hold back? Isn't it because of what he did that we punish him? We have already held him high and put him down gently, Wu Huan said. He was holding his breath, not necessarily at us, Zhang Xiangbei said. He might be being cruel to himself. Well, why do I feel that you are always trying to excuse him? If you were not the boss, I would doubt whether you were taking advantage of him, Wu Huan said. Zhang Xiangbei laughed. The boss can also get benefits. After all, Wu Huan had to admit that in 2 days, Ding managed to secure the production and operation sites for the 4 branches. This efficiency is still impressive. Next, all aspects of the work of the Hefei branch of Zaixian delivery were implemented in an orderly and fast pace. Whether it was employee recruitment or base construction, it took less time than their other branches. Sun Xiangyang and Zhang Xiangbei said that the construction team called him and said that they were being driven crazy by Ding Mianli. This guy followed them all day long, without even a moment to breathe. They worked until midnight, and he was at the construction site. I stayed there until midnight. All I needed was a whip in my hand. Not only the construction team, but also the company that installed equipment and assembly lines for us, everyone was chased away by him, and the construction site was in a state of chaos, Sun Xiangyang said. That's not bad, Zhang Xiangbei smiled. They should know now how kind we were before. After more than 2 weeks of this, even Zhang Xiangbei couldn't bear it anymore. He called Sun Xiangyang and told him to leave and let's go to Hefei to see it. The 2 people drove to Hefei. At the gate of the Half-Mutian logistics base, they asked about the location of the Zaixian delivery. The security guard pointed at them and told them that the noisiest room at the end was the one they were renovating. The 2 people drove the car to the door of the workshop and stopped. They saw Ding Mianli's car also parked here, covered with a layer of dust. The 2 people got off the car and walked into the workshop. The workshop was very busy. Several construction teams were working at the same time. Work clothes of various colors were shuttled in the spacious workshop. Ding Mianli and a dozen other Zaixian Shui employees were all wearing Zaixian Shui work clothes and helping on the construction site. When Zhang Xiangbei and Sun Xiangyang found him, Ding Mianli was standing on the scaffolding, holding in his hand up a square ventilation pipe folded from stainless steel plates. Construction workers welded it at both ends. The sounds from various machines in the workshop gathered together and made it very noisy. Ding Mianli saw them and shouted loudly from above. Mr. Zhang, Mr. Sun, please wait a moment, I can't get off now. Zhang Xiangbei waved his hand to indicate that it was okay. Ding Mianli held the square tube with both hands and continued on the scaffolding for more than 10 minutes. When the welding joints at both ends were welded, the welder told him that he could let go. Ding Mianli immediately got off the scaffolding. Climb up and down. Why are you here? Ding Mianli asked while wiping his hands with a tissue. Come to see you, Zhang Chen said. Then I'll call them all over. As Ding Mianli spoke, he was about to shout at the top of his voice and shout at all his people, but Zhang Xiangbei quickly stopped him. No, I'll treat you all to dinner tonight. You decide the place. Do you know any delicious food around here? I don't know. Ding shook his head reluctantly. We have never been out, we have been here for almost the same time. They're all here. Zhang Xiangbei was surprised. Then where do you live? In the logistics space, the dormitory of the Hefei branch is still being renovated. Even if it is renovated, Ding Mianli does not need to live here. According to their company's regulations, the branch general manager level can rent a high-end house locally. Or rent in a 5-star hotel. I live here too. I asked the boss to borrow a dormitory, Ding said reluctantly. Come on, take me to see it, Zhang Xiangbei said. Ding reluctantly hesitated. Let's go, Zhang Xiangbei urged him, but Ding Mian had no choice but to lead them to the dormitory. After arriving at the dormitory building of the logistics space and going up to the second floor, Ding managed to open a room. As soon as the door was opened, a strong mixed smell of sweat, foot odor, and cigarette smoke came out from the door. Zhang Xiangbei and the others walked in and saw that there were 4 beds in a room of more than 20 square meters. It was not enough, so they bought 5 folding wire beds, making a total of 9 beds. The whole room was packed to the brim, and there was only one road. Allowing people to walk sideways, the original 4 tables in the dormitory building were pushed to the corner, and 2 tables were stacked on top of each other. I'll go, this is where people live, Sun Xiangyang shouted. It's okay, it's temporary, isn't it? The dormitory here at the logistics space is also very tight. It took a lot of money to find 2 rooms for us. We have 1 room for men and 1 for women. There are many men, so it's a bit crowded. Ding said with all his strength. Which bed do you want? Zhang Xiangbei asked. That one. Ding pointed to a wire bed and said. Why don't you stay in a hotel? Zhang Xiangbei asked. I have to rush to work every day. It's more convenient to live here than the trouble of running around, Ding Mianli said with a smile. Besides, they all live here. It's not good for me to go and stay in a hotel alone, Ding managed to add. You can tell us the situation and everyone will stay in the hotel, Zhang Xiangbei said. Forget it, we're all going to the hotel. People can easily get separated. It's better to manage things here. It'll be over in just a few months, Ding said with all his strength. Thank you Hoo Hoo and Love Purple for your monthly votes. Thanks for all the votes and reading. Have a good evening everyone. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 2114. The 3 of them left the dormitory and walked back. Zhang Xiangbei and Sun Xiangyang said, Go find Mr. Qian of the base and ask him if he has any good hotel recommendations, and you can book 2 tables. Sun Xiangyang said yes and walked away. Zhang Xiangbei and Ding Mianli walked back to the workshop together. Zhang Xiangbei took off his coat and said to Ding Mianli. If there is any work that needs to be done, I will do it together. Ding Mianli hurriedly said, No, Mr. Zhang, we can do it. If you don't divide my work, then I will find work by myself, Zhang Xiangbei said. After working in so many workshops, I have learned a lot about it. I can do all the work here. Zhang Xiangbei said, taking a screwdriver and a wrench from the toolbox to help install the stainless steel workbench. There are 2 land reclamation warriors in the family. The land reclamation warriors not only like to grow vegetables, but also like to make various skyscraper models in the studio. Later, they were used as sandboxes for real estate. Zhang Xiangbei followed them since childhood and learned not only about growing vegetables. Zhang Xiangbei can also operate the multifunction milling, turning and planing machine imported from Germany that Chen gave to Lao Zhang. In the evening, Zhang Xiangbei looked at his watch. It was almost time. He walked to Ding Miyulai and asked him to invite everyone to dinner. The Hongyuan hotel that Sun Xiangyang booked was more than 20 minutes away from the logistics base by car. Zhang Xiangbei and Ding Mianli couldn't fit in the 2 cars, so Sun Xiangyang borrowed a business car from Mr. Qian, and the 3 cars set off together. Ding Mianli's car was driven by Han Song. Ding Mianli was sitting in the driver's seat, driving Zhang Xiangbei's car, and Zhang Xiangbei was sitting in the passenger seat. Zhang Xiangbei and Ding Jianli said, I will buy a car tomorrow. How can you afford a small car here? No, we don't need it now. Whoever needs to drive this car now, plus there is a tool cart, it is enough. There will be so many cold chain trucks in the future, so there is no need to buy another small car. Ding say it with effort. Sun Xiangyang booked a large box and a large table for 18 people. There were 16 of them in total, and they could sit at just one table. As soon as they took their seats, 8 cold dishes were served. Zhang Xiangbei said to everyone, "Tonight is a day off. Everyone doesn't have to work. Those who can drink, drink, and those who can't drink, drink. Everyone is open to drink. I know everyone has worked hard during this period. Even the suppliers were forced to scream by Mr. Ding. You guys, he will definitely not let you go." Everyone laughed. Zhang Xiangbei raised his glass and said, "Here, let me toast you first." Everyone raised their glasses one after another and clinked glasses from afar. Zhang Xiangbei said, "I visited your dormitory in the afternoon. To be honest, I was scared. How about you move me to the guest house in the logistics base tomorrow?" Everyone looked at me and I looked at you, but no one said a word. Zhang Xiangbei asked, "Why, did Mr. Ding tell you not to say a lot of things?" A girl said, "Lao Ding didn't tell us not to say anything. Before we came, Lao Ding held a meeting for us in Shanghai. He said that we went to Anhui this time to start a business, not to enjoy ourselves. The conditions in Anhui are incomparable to those of Shanghai companies. If you want the same conditions as Shanghai, just create them yourself. I think what Lao Ding said is very good." As soon as the girl made the first move, everyone started talking. Some people said, "Old Ding has given us a choice. He said that those who can't bear this hardship can continue to stay in Shanghai." That's right. Lao Ding also said that every penny used by our Hefei company now is earned by brothers and sisters in other companies. We are raised by them now, so we don't dare to spend lavishly. Mr. Zhang, thank you for your concern for us, but there is really no need to move to the dormitory. It is just a transitional period, and it will be fine after our dormitory is renovated. Han Song and Zhang Xiangbei said, "Isn't it just a transitional period? As for the sleeping place, now we go to the workshop when we get up in the morning, and when we go back at night, we fall asleep on the bed and feel nothing." Everyone else nodded, and the girl in front said, "Actually, this kind of hard-working entrepreneurial environment is quite exciting. Watching the workshop change every day, I feel a sense of accomplishment." Zhang Xiangbei said, "I am your boss, you find it very exciting, but I feel sorry for myself after watching it." "What should I feel sorry for? If these guys weren't incompetent and had forgotten all the things they learned in military training in college, I originally wanted them to come here with backpacks and lay the floor in this workshop at night," Ding Mianli said. "Old Ding, can you still carry a backpack?" someone asked. "Of course I will. If you don't believe me, I'll call you later," Ding said reluctantly. Someone immediately retorted disdainfully, "Old Ding, what's the use of packing a backpack? Your bed is just like ours, it's also a doghouse. I didn't see you folding the quilt like dried tofu." That's right, many people cheered together. Ding Mianli chuckled, "I'm not pragmatic, it's just for the convenience of getting in and out of bed." One girl snorted, "Pragmatism means carrying a backpack and paving the floor. I think that's formalism." "It makes sense," Sun Xiangyang said. "Old Ding, do you still want them to wear leggings?" "Yes, it's a pity that there are no straps," Ding said reluctantly. "Hey, you're so ugly and you're wearing leggings. You're not afraid of being regarded as a bunch of lunatics," a girl shouted. "What do you know? Do you know why the Red Army wears leggings?" Ding Mianli asked the girl who was speaking. The girl shook her head and asked, "You know?" "Of course," Ding Mianli said, "the Red Army marches every day in the mountains and forests. The leggings are to prevent leeches and insects from crawling in through the trousers. The most important thing is to prevent varicose veins. Look at the treasures now. Above, a pair of socks to prevent varicose veins costs several hundred, but for the Red Army, a single strap can solve the problem. Okay, Zhang Xiangbei said with a smile, Mr. Ding, you are almost catching up with Gugong. Ding Mianli chuckled and said, by the way, I told you girls that when you go to the market in the future, you'd better wear stockings, which is good for preventing varicose veins. Old Ding, what about you? Do you want me to lend you a pair of stockings? A girl shouted. TCH, I've been prepared for a long time. I was in Shanghai some time ago and I had to wear it every day when visiting big clients. This time, I'm already prepared, Ding Mianli said. No way, Lao Ding, you are so perverted, and you still wear stockings, a young man shouted, we are all in the same dormitory, don't scare me. Get out, Ding Mian yelled, I'm wearing football socks, I've prepared them for you all. Old Ding, can our stockings be reimbursed? A girl shouted. No need to reimburse you, Ding Mianli said, I will give each of you 5 pairs. You can go pick out what styles you want, and I will clear the shopping cart. Can you clear away the chocolate too? A girl shouted. I want 3 squirrels. I want pecans. Ding Mianli agreed to them all. Everyone enjoyed this meal happily. Zhang Xiangbei looked at the people at this table and felt very happy in his heart. Although the conditions here were difficult, the spirits of these people were full, which made Zhang Xiangbei happy. I couldn't help but be full of expectations for the Hefei branch in the north. He also understood why Ding Mianli wanted to live with them. Ding Mianli had changed from Mr. Ding to Lao Ding. The title on his lips was gone, but the respect and trust of the people below him had increased. This it's heartfelt. Ding Mianli raised his cup to toast Zhang Xiangbei. The two sat next to each other. Zhang Xiangbei clinked the cup with him, drank it all in one gulp, and put down the cup. Ding Mianli said to Zhang Xiangbei, Mr. Zhang, I have, also on behalf of everyone here, I have a request. Say, Zhang Xiangbei said. Our battle with Daily Fresh made us famous across the country. I went to visit the University of Science and Technology of China and Anhui University. They were looking forward to our fresh delivery being able to enter Hefei and hope that if we can open earlier, they will definitely become our first customers. I was thinking, can we set the launch time of the Hefei company on December 20th? Once the time is set, our publicity work, including elevator advertising, can be arranged early. December 20th, Zhang Xiangbei said, it's already November now. I'm fully prepared and there are only a few more days left. Can you guys make it in time? It's too late. To prepare for this kind of thing, you have to be forced. You need to count down. Otherwise, if you give it another 3 months and a half, you will still feel that there is not enough time. Look at the cities that applied to host the Olympic Games. From the beginning of the bid to the final opening, there are at least 10 years or just 10 years to prepare. Which city, when it comes to its opening, is not good here or there? But on the other hand, which city would delay the opening because it is not ready? The last month is the key, the most efficient time. We now need to set a time to put ourselves, and the supply company Shang has been forced to the point where there is no way out. We need a countdown. Zhang Xiangbei smiled and said, your theory is quite new. He looked at the people present, and they all looked at him, with their eyes shining in anticipation. Zhang Xiangbei said, okay, I agree. If you need any support from us, just come up with it. Everyone in the box cheered. Oh. After finishing the meal, on the way back to the base, a girl who had not drunk was in front of her to help drive. Zhang Xiangbei and Ding Mianli sat in the back seat. Ding Mianli and Zhang Xiangbei said, Mr. Zhang, don't think that I'm here asking everyone to tighten their belts just to show off. No, it makes sense. What's the reason? Zhang Xiangbei asked. I think the company's preparations are to eat sugar cane. It will make everyone suffer at first, and then it will get better and better, and everyone will feel more and more hopeful. If it starts lavishly and throws money everywhere, I can guarantee that the company has not started business yet, everyone is lazy, and the people's hearts are scattered, Ding Mianli said. It makes sense, Zhang Xiangbei said. Look at the history of China. Why do southern expeditions usually go smoothly and northern expeditions usually end in failure? Why? Zhang Xiangbei asked. Fighting from south to north, the environment becomes more difficult, and the food of the troops becomes worse and worse. On the contrary, when we fight south, we get richer and richer, life becomes better, and everyone becomes more energetic. Ding Mianli said. Zhang Xiangbei laughed. Ding Mianli also laughed, and he said, I know you are saying that I look like Gu Gong again. Go back and ask Gu Gong if that's the case. Thank you, Bai Xiao Chang, for the reward of 2 fishes, one at 3 o'clock in the middle of the night. Thank you for your monthly votes from Kingbo, Hu, Luoluo Wuchen Yu Hua Yishi, Yunlong Frajiao, Xianlei Wang, Does Hai Lao, Exercise, Ziz He Book Friends Scooter, Book Friends 201905281830305444. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all good health. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 2115. Zhang Xiangbei and Sun Xiangyang stayed in Hefei for 2 nights and left Hefei at noon on the 3rd day to return to Hangzhou. After agreeing that the Hefei company would officially go online on the 20th of next month, they checked every preparation and met with the cooperating units responsible for workshop and office renovation, assembly line installation, and network room installation, ensuring that they can all be completed before December 15th. There are still things to do, so 5 days must be set aside for final repairs. Zhang Xiangbei also contacted Shentu Hanjian on the phone to confirm that she guaranteed that there would be no problems with the production of the fresh-keeping cabinets. After checking everything, Zhang Xiangbei calmed down a little. Although the time was tight, as Ding Mianli said, from now on, counting down day by day, it can still be completed. Before leaving, Zhang Xiangbei and Ding Jianli said, Don't hold on. If you need the support of the head office, just call me or Mr. Wu. If there is not enough manpower and what kind of personnel are needed, I will transfer personnel from other places to support you. In short, if you have any difficulties, you must call me. Telephone. He knew that Ding Mianli was still holding his breath in his heart and wanted to give everyone a stunning appearance. In more than 2 months, he opened a provincial branch from scratch, which could indeed break the record of all their branch preparations. Zhang Xiangbei knew that Ding Mianli wanted to use this record-breaking performance to raise his head again in the company. Ding nodded reluctantly and said, Okay, I will, Mr. Zhang, don't worry. No matter how much I want to save face, I don't dare to delay the opening of the business. When it's time to ask for help, I will definitely ask you for help. Zhang Xiangbei continued what Ding Mianli said. Also, starting from today's dinner, you will go to food and drink for every meal. I have made a reservation from today until December 20th. It is so hard every day and the accommodation is not good, but you must give it. I'm eating well, but other platforms haven't been launched yet, and someone here fell down. This has nothing to do with the company. It's not the head office that set a precedent for you, but I invited you myself. The Hefei branch of food and drink is also in the logistics base of half-acre field. Zhang Xiangbei went over to discuss with them in the morning. Equipment is still being installed in the workshop here, and the office upstairs is still being renovated. There is no place to eat. Zhang Xiangbei, the boss of Baihe Food and Drink, said that he would borrow their conference room and set up a table for everyone to eat around a conference table. Originally, it could also be arranged in a private room in the logistics base canteen, but Zhang Xiangbei felt that the food in the canteen was not good enough, and these people deserved the best, so he thought of food and drink men and women. Thank you, Mr. Zhang, for letting you spend the money, Ding said with all his strength and smiled. Well, Mr. Zhang is not afraid of spending money anyway, So we have to be respectful and obey your order. Next week, Jo Ruyi will bring someone over to discuss the opening advertising with you. She is not familiar with HEFI. You must first consider a plan and provide it to their advertising company, Zhang Xiangbei said. Ding Mianli said, yes, I already have some ideas in my mind. I will write them down in the past 2 days and send them to Mr. Zhou for reference first. In this way, if she has any ideas, we can discuss it when she comes. Zhang Xiangbei and Sun Xiangyang said goodbye and left. Ding Mianli and a dozen of them gathered around their car to see them off. After Zhang Xiangbei and the others returned to Hangzhou, within a few days, the affairs of the HEFI branch became a matter of their entire company. Everyone had to cooperate to break this record. Not only were they responsible for purchasing from Evian and Andy Lau, they were also responsible for purchasing. Now we need to plan for Anhui's needs. After Zhou Ruyi went to HEFI, Wu Yu, Ma Lin, Li Wei and Wu Huan also went to HEFI. But on December 20, the platform of the HEFI branch of Zaixian Delivery was officially launched. Although Ding Mianli invited him several times, neither Zhang Xiangbei nor Wu Huan went to HEFI. Zhang Xiangbei and Ding Mianli said, "Today is your big day, you have set a new record for home delivery, you should be proud of yourself, we should not be the focus." On December 20, the HEFI branch of Zaixian Delivery was officially launched. On December 25, Wu Hu went online. On December 30 and January 5, 2017, Ma Anshan and Anking went online one after another. In this way, starting from Shanghai and tracing up the Yangtze River to Sichuan, they are on both sides of the Yangtze River. The only gap is Jiangxi. Wait until next year. In March, after the Nanchang branch went online, the Yangtze River basin was connected. Zheng Huiyang came to see Xiaofang twice more. After the senior left Hangzhou, Zheng Huiyang came again. As soon as she entered the door, she told Xiaofang, "I am almost going crazy. I will dream about you in my dreams." Xiaofang laughed and asked, "What did you dream about me?" "I dreamed that you were arrogant, and that was it. Look, you told me with such a ruthless face that the merger of Zaixian Shui was out of the question." Xiaofang smiled and said, "Then did you fight with me?" "I wanted to fight, but before I could finish, I was frightened and woke up," Zheng Huiyang said. Xiaofang shook her head and said, "Sister Huiyang, what are you so nervous about?" Zheng Huiyang stared at Xiaofang. Xiaofang was so scared that her heart went crazy. Zheng Huiyang asked, "Xiaofang, tell me, have you been deceiving me? Why do I always feel that you are stalling for time, but actually you have other plans?" "I really have no other plans," Xiaofang said. The senior's name suddenly popped out of Zheng Huiyang's mouth, which startled Xiaofang, and then asked, "If you don't have any other plans, then what do you think he is here for? He, you, and Bai Bei all graduated from the same school, right?" Xiaofang burst into laughter. She understood what Zheng Huiyang was nervous about. She said yes, he had indeed been here. It was also true that we both graduated from Yale. Also, when he came, he also met Zhang to the north, we had dinner together at Tuxianjiayuan Hotel. However, Sister Huiyang, I assure you, his coming here has nothing to do with Zaixian Delivery. He is here for food and drink. You have all found out that we are alumni, but you haven't found out that he is still a shareholder of Diet Man and Woman? He is here to discuss the Series B round of Diet Man and Woman, Xiaofang said. Really? Zheng Huiyang asked. Really, Xiaofang said. Then you guarantee it with your sister? Okay, I promise you in the name of my sister that his visit this time has nothing to do with the Zaixian Delivery, Xiaofang said, but it's strange, how did you know he was here? Humph, the world is so big and Hangzhou is so big, how can we not know it? Zheng Huiyang said. No way, are you all over Hangzhou with minions? Are you keeping an eye on us? Xiaofang asked. Do we still need to keep track of him? You don't know, he is also our shareholder, although he is only a small shareholder. When he comes to you, he also goes to our place to find Lao Ma, Zheng Huiyang said. Of course I know that he has shares in JD.com, shares in Tencent, and shares in you. He is an investor. This is normal. He is buying insurance for himself. In this way, the three of you compete, no matter what the final result is. He can guarantee that he won't lose everything, Xiaofang said. Why, he won't talk to Lao Ma and want to participate in the investment of Daily Fresh, right? Daily Fresh has been ruined by you now. Who dares to touch it? Zheng Huiyang said. Nonsense, we haven't had a Daily Fresh, have we? Can you tell me what is there about Daily Fresh that is specific to Daily Fresh? If Daily Fresh really stuns the streets, it's something he asked for himself and has nothing to do with us, Xiaofang said. By the way, if he comes to us to talk about fresh delivery at home, don't worry, when he sees Lao Ma, he will definitely talk to him about fresh delivery daily, although fresh delivery daily is in your words. He said that it has stinked the streets, but he still negotiated. As I said before, this can be regarded as a hedge, Xiaofang added. Zheng Huiyang thought it made sense. She took a long breath and shouted. Hurry up and get me some water. You don't even have any saliva to drink when you come here. Did you give me time to pour water? Xiaofang smiled. You said you were crazy as soon as you came in. Is it more important for me to pour you water, or is it more important for me to care about whether you are crazy? Go, Zheng Huiyang cursed. Xiaofang stood up, walked to the water dispenser, poured a glass of water, and brought it back to Zheng Huiyang. Zheng Huiyang looked at it and said, plain water? Why are you so stingy? Why are you so difficult to take care of? Xiaofang asked. Okay, dear, do you want tea or coffee? Forget it, that's it, Zheng Huiyang said, picking up the cup and taking a sip. Thank you for your monthly ticket to Dance with My Heart. Thanks for all the votes and reading. Have a good evening, everyone. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 2116. 1 year has passed and the new year has arrived. For Lu Ligan, Zhang Chen, and Zhang Xiangbei, they all feel that this year is long but short. So many things have happened in this year and they have done so many things. Sometimes when I look back and think of something, my memory has faded, and it feels like it is very far away. When I think about it carefully, I realize that it was only at the beginning of 2016, and not even a year has actually passed. Can't help but feel dumb. The roles of the three of them have changed this year. Not only did Zhang Chen really start his own business, the development of Diet Men and Women exceeded his own expectations, and successively conducted rounds A and B. Xiaofang said, in the first half of this year, the C round should be conducted. Zhang Chen still can't understand the principle of constantly raising funds if you don't lack money. No matter whether you are doing equity financing or going public to raise funds, what will you do with the money? Isn't it just for the development of the enterprise? Nowadays, enterprises do not need funds for development, and they still think there is too much cash. If we want to find a way to get rid of the cash in the account, why do we still need to raise funds? For Zhang Chen, the only thing that didn't make him panic after raising so much money was that the money was cost-free. There was no need to pay interest every month like a bank loan. If that were the case, he would definitely be anxious. These investors, coming with this money, seem to have just bought a ticket. Only the singers know whether the play is good or not. They have not seen it yet, so they know nothing. The curtain opened and the main play was on. It turned out that the play was a mess and watching it again was a waste of time. At this time, they had no choice but to stand up, touch their noses, and then leave. The money they paid for the tickets was used as a slap in the face. The water is gone. Zhang Chen would never be such an investor even if he died. Although he knew that such people could make a lot of money, Xiao Fang and Lu Yun were also such people, but Zhang Chen didn't know how to do it. He wouldn't do that kind of thing. Investments that you can't see, touch, or even control. Thinking back then, when the half-acre field stores in Shanghai and Beijing were closed one after another, Zhang Chen felt like this, a sense of powerlessness, as if someone was strangling him by the neck, and he couldn't even struggle. There was an invisible force. It was too powerful. He stood there, it was airtight no matter where he looked, he felt depressed in his heart, but he couldn't even see the person who was angry at him. He could only stand there like an idiot, dumbfounded. Zhang Chen felt that making such an investment was simply throwing money away, and his neck would be trapped in someone else's trap. No matter how high the profit was, Zhang Chen would not be willing to do it. He didn't want to put himself in that helpless situation again. Zhang Chen understood that for Xiao Fang, Lu Yun, and the senior, the purpose of all their work was not to make the company make money, but to use money to make money. The company was not the source of their profits, but just a vehicle for money to make money. The best and legal way to make money from money is to continuously blow up a company and then go public. After going public, it's amazing that a company that was originally worth only 1 billion has become tens of billions or hundreds of billions overnight, just like Lu Bang's Black Forest Food and Lin Shuwen's LinkedIn Education. The market value is tens of billions. Zhang Chen can't figure out how the sum of everything in their company and school is worth tens of billions. If calculated in this way, all the desks in Lin Shuwen's school are not made of 9-centimeter boards or wood boards plus wooden squares or cast iron parts, but should be made of sterling silver. Zhang Chen doesn't know and doesn't want to know the so-called market value. Who calculated it? If there are still people who recognize such an algorithm, aren't they just fools? Xiao Fang told him that when buying stocks, you buy expectations. What are the expectations? What will the company's value be in 10 or 100 years? How many people have bought stocks and kept them for 10 to 100 years? Since you can't let it go for so long, what else do you expect? Even if you let it go, 100 years later, the company will be in the sky, and it will be none of your business. You've already done this shit. Zhang Chen felt that all of this was like a conspiracy. It was a conspiracy devised by some highly intelligent guys like Xiao Fang, Lu Yun, and the seniors. They used some tricks that sounded beautiful and exciting, but also conspiracies built in language that no one can understand, so financial games are actually mazes of language, making people who enter quickly become confused. Many people will never be able to survive in their lifetime. Like Lao and I, many people are sweating profusely when they come out. They feel lucky if they can save their lives, just like Meng Ping, Lu Ligan, and Mr. Huang and Ma Zhongface. He disappeared as soon as he came out of the maze, and it was impossible to find the direction again. Zhang Chen felt that he was right to never touch stocks or futures. He even had a phobia in this area, so when Xiao Fang and Lu Yun explained Fanhua network to Zhang Chen's incomprehensible level, they asked him to leave. He ran away as if he was running away. He felt that it was not his business. Those who are engaged in business would sooner or later be like Lao and I and get wild. If it weren't for Xiao Fang and Lu Yun's instigation, Zhang Chen wouldn't even touch the listing of food and drink. Zhang Chen couldn't understand the market value and price-earnings ratio. Zhang Chen also couldn't understand the valuation. He even felt a little funny. When you go to a bank for a loan, at least the bank will ask an appraisal company to evaluate what your business has and classify it into categories to figure out what are fixed assets, current assets, undistributed profits, etc. Their valuation, it's like children playing house. When several people meet together, you say a price and I say a price. The final agreement is the valuation. Even at the most basic level, no one even counts how many stoves and vehicles they have. It's really an estimate. Everything is estimated gross. Just like this, it's a gross estimate, 1 billion, 3 billion, several billion, like tens of billions of dollars like Xixian delivery will come out. Zhang Chen felt that they were all betting on one thing, that is, after the company went public, how much money would someone buy the stock? They didn't care about anything else. Just like the senior, when he arrived in Hangzhou, he didn't even care about food and drink. Neither the men's or women's offices nor the operations rooms were visited. He probably also knew that there was nothing to see. From the house he rented from half-acre field, even if he looked at everything, he still couldn't see that the place was worth 5 million, let alone 3 billion is a waste of money, so it's better to save money. Everything is really on paper. As long as you can tell a story, the story can be self-explanatory, and it can impress people and make people think that the company can make money, not whether it can actually make money, just like all brands now. They all like to talk about brand stories, but in fact, there are some bullshit brand stories. Zhang Chen feels that all brands, whether it is Armani or Yves Saint Laurent, their earliest stories are the same as his own. They are all about filling their stomachs, but they just sell their products better than others, make money and have money to do something. Only by doing things that others couldn't do, such as opening a specialty store, putting on a show, etc., did I realize that I was different from others. Zhang Chen clearly remembers how swollen he was after a show. He felt as if the whole world would be his show next. But he fell to the ground with a squeak. How badly did he fall? If it hadn't been for that fall, Zhang Chen felt that he would most likely be a person talking about brand stories everywhere, just like Professor Zhang Chen and Professor Zhang who talked about the brand on stage. Xiao Fang and Lu Yun often laughed at Zhang Chen for being too honest. Lu Yun said that it is rare to see such honest people in business these days. Zhang Chen smiled and said nothing. He knew what they were laughing at. Isn't it stupid to be honest? They were laughing at him for being so stupid. Obviously, half an acre of land can be listed on the market, and once it is listed, the market value and price-earnings ratio will expand. There is no problem with the market value of half an acre of field in the hundreds of billions. By then, is it not easier to just cash out and leave than it is to make money through hard work now? Zhang Chen thought to himself, what can you do with so much money? Can you just pile money around every day and look at it and smile, or can you do nothing? Even now, he doesn't have to do anything and just hang out in the Riverside oil painting gallery and brag about his life. What kind of business does he want to start? But that kind of life is not what Zhang Chen wants. After being idle for a long time, he feels panicked and feels unsteady. He misses the busy days very much, even riding a tricycle with Zhao Zhigang in the summer. The day when the Dongxin Road fabric market receives goods. Although this kind of nostalgia is a bit pretentious, and he simply can't bear it if he lives like that again now, but it's okay to think about it, right? Zhang Chen sighed. He felt that the food and drink men and women seemed to have changed and turned into a company that he didn't recognize, and it was difficult to control, especially the financing matters, such as A round, B round, C round, and N round. It seemed that it had nothing to do with him. He listened to Xiao Fang, Lu Yun and the seniors talking about financing, and it felt like they were talking about other people's matters. He felt that just like what he was initially worried about, this company was now like a kite flying in the air. Sometimes Zhang Chen felt that the thread was still being pulled in his hand, and sometimes he felt that it was not and that he was holding on to nothing. Sometimes, he felt that he was floating in the air together with the eating and drinking men and women, and who was pulling the thread below. The clouds were too thick and he couldn't see clearly. At this time, Zhang Chen was particularly glad that he still had half an acre of land, and half an acre of land was really like a field, firmly planted there, with winds and rains coming. The wind has gone, the rain has gone, but the half acre of field is still there. Even if one day the eating and drinking man and woman really floats away like a kite with a broken string, at least he will still have half an acre of land under his feet, so that he will not have no place to stand. Zhang Chen made up his mind, no matter who came to tell him, no matter what the talk was, half an acre of field would never be listed on the market, nor would it raise financing, and on the matter of eating and drinking, men and women, he would do everything he could to accept fate. Now that the curtain of eating men and women has begun, as long as Zhang Chen is on stage for one day, he will try his best to sing well and not let himself become a second hand. He doesn't know if those investors care or care. You don't care about what he is doing. Anyway, Zhang Chen has determined it for himself, so he will do it. He will try his best to let them buy tickets and sit for a while, and feel that the tickets are worth the money. When Zhang Chen was thinking like this, Tan Shuhen's babbling voice seemed to echo in his ears. This was Tan Shuhen, who was still in Jiaohang, when they were still young. In a blink of an eye, all these years have passed. Thank you for the reward of 2 fishes. Thank yous Liang, Seon Hao, Tiger, Xiang J, exclusively for Cao Xiaoman, W Yuan Lei I is UW, and book friend 201811301953059444 for your monthly votes. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all good health. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 2117. Lu Yun once jokingly said to Zhang Chen Xiaofang. This is an honest man. He is so honest even after giving birth to a son. He is still studying economics. I don't know how you teach at Yale. Xiaofang giggled, and Zhang Chen quickly said, it's not my fault. Zhang Xiangbei went to the United States since high school. Is that your fault? Xiaofang asked. No, blame the Americans, Zhang Chen said with a smile. However, I think this is good. Zhang Chen knew that when Lu Yun said that Zhang Xiangbei was honest, he also meant, in this day and age, it's really rare to see people who are so honest in running a business. What he meant was that young people were fooling around and selling their products to everyone they met. Dreams, looking for money are almost crazy. This Zhang Xiangbei, even if 25 billion is put in front of him to show off, he doesn't want it. To be honest, in China, at Zhang Xiangbei's age, there are really not many people with 25 billion at his disposal. Even for those so-called big boys, burning money is a very enjoyable thing. Resisting this temptation made Zhang Chen look at his son with admiration, and at the same time he was also a little proud. There was one sentence that Zhang Chen didn't say out loud. He just said silently to Xiao Zhao in his heart, Xiao Zhao, thank you for giving me a good son. When thinking like this, the past came flooding back. Zhang Chen thought of the night when Xiao Zhao was pregnant with Zhang Xiangbei, and the boiler room of the Red Flag Hotel. No one else in the world knew about Zhang Xiangbei except him. To the north was conceived on the coal pile. Zhang Chen still remembered Xiao Zhao's yellow down jacket that he bought at Ji Bakeson that day. He remembered that Sister Gihua laughed when she saw the soot on Xiao Zhao's body, and Xiao Zhao's and his faces suddenly turned red. Zhang Chen thought of Xiao Zhao, who was pregnant and riding a bicycle. On the schoolbag rack behind the bicycle, there was a large bundle of newly made clothes by Zhao Zhigang and the others. From Zhao Zhigang and the others' tailor shop, they pedaled desperately in order to get to the market. Go and open the door. Zhang Chen thought of the summer stall in the stall. The weather was as hot as a steamer. Xiao Zhao was lying on the recliner, sweat soaking her maternity clothes. Zhang Chen remembered that after giving birth to Zhang Xiangbei, Xiao Zhao took Zhang Xiangbei back to Yongcheng for confinement. His mother fed him sweet crucian carp soup every day, just to have more milk to feed Zhang Xiangbei. Zhao himself almost burst into tears when he saw Zhang Chen. Hey, Zhang Chen, did I offend you? Lu Yun asked when she saw Zhang Chen sitting in a daze. No, Zhang Chen said, I was distracted. By the way, when it comes to responsibility, You also have Lu Yun. Aren't you Zhang Xiangbei's godmother? Lu Yun puffed up her cheeks and stared at him. Xiao Fang smiled and nodded. Lu Yun breathed out and said, "No way, my godmother, the more she looks at her godson, the happier she is. He has no shortcomings." "Me too," Xiao Fang said. Zhang Chen chuckled, "Me too, he saved me 5 billion, how could I be unhappy? By the way, you can't say this in front of Bai Bei, he will be proud," Lu Yun told them. Zhang Chen smiled and said, "I know, you think I'm a pig. What is market value, what is price-earnings ratio and valuation?" Zhang Xiangbei understands all these things that Zhang Chen doesn't understand and doesn't want to understand. Even if he didn't learn them in school, he followed Xiao Fang and listened. What's more, there is Lu Yun. For a while, Lu Yun was like Xiao Fang. Whether in China or the United States, as long as Zhang Xiangbei had time, she would take him to attend various meetings with the clients below and with the clients above. To negotiate with investors. They deliberately wanted to cultivate him and take him to see the world, but they also wanted to break his courage. Lu Yun told Zhang Xiangbei a story about a calligrapher. When he was practicing calligraphy since he was a child, other children would write in small regular script on red books. Only his father had asked him to use a whole sheet of rice paper since he was a child. The purpose of writing big characters is to break his courage, saying that if big characters can be written well, small characters can stand up. Lu Yun said that this still makes sense. Lu Yun and Xiao Fang met all big clients and discussed big business. The investors above could also be said to be respectable people. They brought Zhang Xiangbei with them to let him see these things, and they were also giving him breaking courage allowed him to have an overall view. Lu Yun said that if a man's situation is too small, he will not have any big prospects in his life. Later, Zhang Xiangbei started a big project like fresh delivery to home. I don't know if it had anything to do with these experiences. At least, when others know that their competitor is teacher Ma and dad Ma, they will definitely feel uneasy, panic, and at a loss. In the end, they will be in chaos. However, Zhang Xiangbei can quickly calm down and stabilize under such a fierce attack by the other party. Staying in position and dealing with it calmly must be related to his insights. If the previous year was Zhang Xiangbei's growth period, this past year was his maturity period. The battle with Daily Fresh gave him tremendous pressure and also left him with no way to retreat. It is in this kind of inevitable suffering that people become mature and strong. It can be said that teacher Ma is really his master in a sense, forcing him to mature himself. In this year, Zhang Xiangbei suddenly encountered his biggest opponent. He persisted without being beaten to the ground by the opponent, and finally gained the upper hand. This made him somewhat proud and increased his confidence. Since the biggest opponent was having already fought against each other, if any new opponent came to challenge him, he would have some kind of psychological advantage. Compared with Zhang Chen and Zhang Xiangbei, Lu Ligan seemed to have had little movement in the past year, although he was also very busy, traveling all over the world. This year, he completed more than 60 projects, secured land for more than 100 projects across the country, and has more than 30 projects under construction on hand. But these projects of his are all small projects. They cannot be as spectacular as Zhang Xiangbei's fresh delivery at home, nor can they be like Zhang Chen's eating and drinking men and women, which aroused everyone's attention as soon as they appeared on the scene. Attention, coupled with the fact that Fatty Fu and his recipes have been popular on the internet for a while, plus the residual influence of Professor Zhang Chen and Zhang on the internet. It is impossible for food and drink man and woman not to attract everyone's attention. Their business needs are to let everyone know about food and drink man and woman. To this end, they have also invested a lot of advertising, program, and event sponsorships. Each of Lu Ligan's projects, even in the project location, are shy and not serious projects. When it comes to attracting investment, Both Lu Ligan and he are embarrassed. These projects, to be more precise, they were all recommended by friends and got them one by one. In addition, the business methods of Rengia Travel and the customer groups they serve are themselves a relatively secretive part of this society. Nowadays, the really rich people have learned well and know that the first person will die first and the first bird will be shot. The reason is that everyone is relatively low-key, has learned to make money quietly, and lives with his tail between his legs, and is no longer as flamboyant as in previous years. As there are still some very flamboyant people who are either liars or fools, the other people all step away, watching from a distance, folding their hands, secretly laughing in their hearts, knowing that this guy is going to be unlucky next, and he hasn't yet. When something goes wrong, everyone has already cut their seats intentionally or unintentionally. Lu Ligan's Rengia Tourism serves a group of people who are reluctant to expose their whereabouts. Naturally, they have consciously restrained their spread feathers and do not want to attract attention. In many places, if you haven't visited their website, you wouldn't know that Rengia Tourism already has their projects in the local area. There is not even a Rengia Tourism sign at the door of each project. The door is closed most of the time. People who don't know it would think it is a private building and would not think it is a hotel at all. Guests who have booked a room drive into the courtyard by car or take a vehicle that picks them up, get off the car, and enter the house before they see the ubiquitous Rengia Tourism logo. He walks to the door to take a look at this unique and ingenious hotel. The unique architecture, exquisite courtyards, and newly closed doors made me feel that I had come to the right place. Rengia Travel is becoming more and more like a club in a circle. Most of their current members are introduced by friends, including their projects. Most of the project land is obtained with the help of members. Although these members of theirs are not prominent, they are all prominent figures in the local area. It is natural to help him get a small piece of land for AB/U0026B. Lu Ligan's current relationship with his members is like a host and guest, and more like friends. These people all know Lu Ligan's glory in those days and know that he is the one who truly created the myth of splendid China. They do not dare to underestimate him. If anything happens, I am willing to come and talk to Lu Ligan. In addition, Lu Ligan was easy to make friends, he was a familiar person, and he was willing to help. He brought this member together with the member he was not familiar with before, and accomplished several things. Everyone was happy, and this people's tourism industry is more like a place for friends to gather and interact. The small projects scattered across the country are inconspicuous, but when aggregated into Rengia Tourism, it is a big project, just like how many flies can still be a dish. That day, Xiaofang discovered the secret in their finance department and was shocked. She discovered that this year, Rengia Tourism actually made more than 800 million in sales. This revenue exceeded that of New Kaiwan shares, and Xin Kaiwan owns large 5-star hotels. Is it that exaggerated? After Xiaofang took a closer look, she understood. Xiaofang and Lu Ligan said, "No wonder you are so busy, it turns out that you are holding a golden chicken that lays golden eggs. How about it, Brother Ganzi, are you considering listing Rengia Travel in the United States? I took a look and you've met the standard now." "No, I'm going to learn from Zhang Chen," Lu Ligan said. "I don't want to bother anymore, Xiaofang, Rengia Tourism is now my fish pond. You know how fishermen guard it? Is it from his fish pond?" "Why are you guarding it?" Xiaofang asked. He would go alone and come back alone, regardless of wind, rain, or snow, sitting quietly by the fish pond, baiting and fishing, disconnecting from the world and forming a tacit understanding with his fish pond, Lu Ligan said. Xiaofang thought for a while and smiled. Lu Ligan's statement was really appropriate. It really seemed to be describing himself. In the past year, the noisy Lu Ligan seemed to have disappeared and was rarely seen. When he saw it, he didn't say that much. "Brother Ganzi, are you old?" Xiaofang asked with a smile. "I'm getting old. My heart has been getting old since many years ago, Lou Ligon said. Thank you, Al. Book friends 1302211840471110, 201811301053053944, book friends 201805231128576005 for your monthly votes. Thanks for all the votes and reading. Have a good evening, everyone. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei-Shi Niang. Chapter 2118. After New Year's Day, it's New Year, but for the Chinese, this year is still old. The real New Year is only now getting ready. Everyone regards New Year's Eve of the lunar calendar as the end of the year, and the Spring Festival is not the end of the year. It's the real beginning of the new year. 2017 started relatively early. January 27th was New Year's Eve, New Year's Eve. After the New Year's Day holiday, everyone got into the work of wrapping up the year and getting ready to welcome the new year. Whether it is Zhang Xiangbei, Zhang Chen, and Lu Ligan, or Tan Shehen and Xiaofang Lu Yun, from now until the Spring Festival, it is their busiest time. Every Spring Festival is a holiday for most people, a time when they can completely relax, but for those who run businesses or companies, the end of the year is a hurdle. At this time, bosses who have no money need to beg their grandfather and grandma everywhere to raise money. The money owed externally should be fully accepted in the past. In the morning, it was said that it would be in the afternoon, and in the afternoon, it was said that it would be tomorrow. I will definitely call you, but I have to keep it until later. The other party has completely shut down the phone, and the money is considered dead. Don't worry, he is definitely not hiding from you. Even if you look for him now, you won't be able to find him. But after the Spring Festival, the other party will definitely turn on his phone. At that time, you can take your time and ask for it. If the money outside doesn't come back, it's the same for you here. If anyone comes to you to ask for money, you will make up various excuses to delay it. As long as you can delay it until New Year's Eve, you have won, and you can wait until next year. But there is one sum of money that you cannot delay, and that is the wages of the people below. If they cannot get the money, they will not be able to go home, and your company or factory will not be able to continue to operate. If you run away from the light, you will be torn apart too. So, you can only go to relatives and friends. When you are good, they will greet you with a smile, and they are afraid that you will forget that they are your relatives and friends. But at this time, what they are most afraid of is that you still remember them. It's your relatives and friends who are avoiding you. It's certain that you will be disappointed if you get into trouble. Go to the bank. Banks are the most unreliable. If you go to them at this time, you have to serve them carefully from top to bottom. You are already strapped for money, so how can you serve them? What to serve? Do you tell them your own talk show? And very few banks will still lend money at this time, so don't even think about it if it's a matter of time. The most likely thing is that many people get caught up in various online loan platforms and loan shark companies at this time. After being trapped, they are unable to extricate themselves. They comfort themselves by saying that all they need is a U-turn of funds, but this U-turn funds often make you lose your head in the end. Bosses who are not short of money are also worried. They all have their own ways to worry. Some are worried that the goods will not be shipped out before the year, some are worried that the business may be interrupted, and some are worried that there are too many docks to visit and they simply cannot get there. There is a worried mistress and a fourth who is clamoring for you to accompany her abroad for the Chinese New Year. There is also a 13 o'clock one who says her parents are coming over and want to meet you. The most worrying thing is probably that the company or factory must still operate normally, but there are no more people, or there are not enough manpower. No matter how much overtime wages you give, there will still be people who think that the new year is the most important thing in the world, and they will just walk away. You can't punish or fire him yet. There is a labor law. The labor law protects workers, not the boss law. Zhang Chen, Zhang Xiangbei, Lu Yun Xiaofang, Lu Ligan, and Tan Shehen are all not short of money, but they each have their own busy ways. For Xiaofang and Lu Yun, this time is the beginning of a new year in the United States. Investors after the Christmas holiday have already gone to work at this time, and many things must be completed before the Chinese Lunar New Year holiday. Both of them went to the United States to negotiate with their investors to discuss the investment direction for the new year. Or go to Wall Street and negotiate with accountants, auditors, and lawyers from exchanges, securities firms, investment banks, fund companies, and various firms to discuss the preparation of their projects for listing. Every year before and after the Spring Festival, it is a day for families to reunite, and it is also a day for the whole family to decide important family matters together. Therefore, every Spring Festival is a golden cycle for the sales of Tan Shehen and her real estate company. Tan Shehen not only has to decide on the sales activities during the entire Spring Festival, each city needs different strategies and plans, but also needs to end all the projects at hand one by one so that the workers can get home safely. For their real estate company, there is another important thing during this period before the year, and that is to make good financial arrangements for suppliers and construction teams. The biggest headache for Tan Shehen is that every year there are always bosses or contractors of some suppliers. She has obviously arranged funds, but they take the money to hide or run away. The people below can't find them, but they all find her. Come here. At the same time, in various cities, their splendid China also has various docks to visit. Some of them are very important, and Tan Shehen must go there in person. She would not be able to show their importance. This year is the first Spring Festival for diet man and woman. People with better family conditions were used to having New Year's Eve dinner in hotels. This year, I thought it would be a different way to have New Year's Eve dinner at home. However, I booked the diet man and woman. Anyway, it is as convenient as eating out. There is no need to prepare in advance, and there is no need to clean up after eating. It feels more enjoyable at home. In the first month of the year, the invitations to meals are also ordered by food and drink men and women. In the first month of the year, both the invitation and the invitation feel that it is very honorable, or vice versa, the invitation and the invitation, they all felt that it was very honorable, and the dining men and women were fully booked from the New Year's Eve dinner to the entire first month. Although the Tuxianjiayuan Hotel also prepares New Year's Eve dinner and it is already fully booked, there is no need for Zhang Chen to take care of it. Huihuan will arrange it. What Zhang Chen needs to keep an eye on is the sales of food and drink branches in various cities across the country. For the New Year's Eve dinner arrangement, for the people below, Zhang Chen is the real adult in the family. At this critical moment, the adult needs to be at home. During the Spring Festival this year, the Tuxianjiayuan Hotel in Hangzhou has new arrangements. The theatrical performances during the meal that had disappeared for many years have reappeared in the lobby of the Tuxianjiayuan Hotel in Hangzhou. Huihuan believes that, in the past, banquets would be too noisy if everyone ate in the lobby, which is why meal performances have disappeared in major hotels. But during the Spring Festival, especially during the New Year's Eve dinner, it was different. No one would find it too noisy, but it was not lively enough. Huihuan thought of setting up a stage in the hall and putting on a dinner performance. Unexpectedly, the news came out, word spread, and it was indeed very popular, so the matter was settled. The performance groups participating in the dinner are Xiangnan's Yongchengwu Opera Troupe and Hangcheng Song and Dance Troupe. The Yongchengwu Opera Troupe will perform a few excerpts, and the Hangcheng Song and Dance Troupe will intersperse song and dance programs. During the Spring Festival, even Lu Ligan and his family's Renjia Tourism are hard to find a room. Many people want to take advantage of this time when all units are on vacation, which is also the cleanest time of the year, to bring their closest people with them. Go to a secluded place to stay well, be clean and quiet, change your mind, and think about the future. Luligan's Rengia travel has become the best choice for their members, but it is staggered in space. Those in the south run to the north, those in the north fly to the south, and those in the ice and snow want to experience the south. Sunshine, those who are tired of being scorched by the scorching sun should go and see the scenery of the north, thousands of miles of ice and thousands of miles of snow. Luligan joked with the members who called him, "You come to my house and I come to yours. By the way, why don't you just change by yourself? Why don't you just leave your wife and dear ones behind, traveling alone in your own home, going to your own home? This is a completely new experience." You friends who talked to Luligan on the phone always scolded him with a smile, and some simply said, "I'll trade with you, Mr. Lu. Anyway, I won't suffer a loss." Everyone knows that Luligan's wife is Tan Shahen, the chairman of Splendid China, who is a famous beauty. On days like this, Zhang Xiangbei and his colleagues are even more busy with their fresh home delivery business. Even the municipal governments of each city specially meet with their general managers to ask them to do a good job during the festival. Material supply ensures the food basket of the general public and stabilizes prices during the Spring Festival. Their fresh delivery at home program is now the most important force in ensuring supply for the leaders of every city. As long as fresh delivery at home is stable, they can relax half of their worries. Zhang Xiangbei and his colleagues have therefore held several meetings of middle and senior managers. For them, whether it is a net vegetable importing place like Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou, and Shenzhen, or a net exporting place like Xiang-Evian and Ningxia, or companies like Lin Kunfen and De Winwen in Guangdong and Hunan, which are both importers and exporters. Zhang Xiangbei asked everyone to tighten their nerves. At this time, for them, the first priority is of course to stabilize the personnel. Only when the personnel are stabilized can the supply of vegetables be guaranteed. Wu Huan told everyone, "I know you are short of people in every place, but there is no way. I am also lacking here, and I don't have the extra people to support you." The only way to solve this contradiction in cities is to follow their approach last year and step up the recruitment, organization, and training of temporary personnel. In rural areas, the work to be done is more detailed, because in comparison, rural areas are more, cities pay more attention to the new year, and there is no holiday at this time, so it is more difficult to continue organizing production. It's better for people like De Winwen and Lu Dihua. The workers in each company below are actually local villagers who hold land as shares. For them, going to work in the company's vegetable fields is like working in front of their homes. In exchange for overtime pay, everyone is willing to take advantage of this time to earn more money. Anyway, the work is not done all day long, but only in the morning and evening to collect vegetables, so as not to delay everyone's New Year celebrations. The difficulty is still with Xiang Ayun. Her family farm is easy to manage. They don't need to push them. If the vegetables are in the ground, if they are not harvested when the time is up, they will rot in the ground. No family is willing to do such a thing. If it happens, let alone the Chinese New Year, even if a knife comes from the sky, they will have to put away the vegetables. The problem is that they still have 11 farms of their own. The workers on these farms are only a small part of the local population. Most of them are farmers who come from Gansu, Shaanxi, Inner Mongolia, and Ningxia to work. These people want to keep them. Very difficult. Besides, the locations of these farms are not as good as cities. In cities, people who have not gone home for various reasons from factories and schools that have been on vacation can also be recruited to serve as their temporary delivery persons and workshop workers. Where can there be people near the farms? Are there universities and factories? The only way is that Xiang-Evian can only mobilize everyone to celebrate the New Year on the spot instead of going home. Instead, he calls his family to the farm to celebrate the New Year. Even so, many people still have to go back. Xiang-Evian can only count those who are willing to stay. During the Chinese New Year, workers should check to see if they have any family members who have come over, such as their sons and daughters who are studying or working outside, and mobilize them to serve as temporary workers. This year's Spring Festival, Ningxia needs to supply their Zaixian vegetables to all branches across the country, which has increased more than 10 times compared to previous years. Zhang Xiangbei and Xiang Yayun said that if Ningxia is stable, we will have it nationwide. I know, Mr. Zhang and Mr. Wu, don't worry, Xiang Yayun said. Although Xiang Yayun said this, Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan still couldn't let go. They knew that Xiang Yayun and her parents and younger siblings who had already settled in Yinchuan were planning to take them to Shai's Wise's farm during the Spring Festival. Go over and help. I'd better go there. I can't do anything. At least I can give them moral support. There were still 5 days before the Spring Festival, Zhang Xiangbei said to Wu Huan, and Wu Huan agreed. Wu Huan also knows that Ningxia is too important to them now. It is really what Zhang Xiangbei said, stabilizing Ningxia means stabilizing the whole country. Thank you for the reward of 2 fishes. Thank you book friend 854974, Heart dances with you, ZSW, Zi Zhang said, I love purple, Tamagotchi, book friend 1101152336518898, book friend 201808030256355047, Void Broken Dream, 999 Little Stupid Cow 999, Yunlong Frogfish, monthly votes for Lao Shenzasang, Shi Yitan, Muren, book friends 1305092031191128, Lang 68, book friends 201811301053053944. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all good health. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 2119. Zhang Xiangbei arrived at Yinchuan Hedong International Airport. It was already past 5 o'clock in the afternoon. In Hangzhou, the sky should have started to get cloudy, but it was still bright here. Xiang Yayun drove to the airport to pick him up. The two of them got in the car. Zhang Xiangbei asked, have you ever estimated how serious the worst possible situation of labor shortage here will be? No shortage, it's been solved, Xiang Yayun said and started the car. Zhang Xiangbei was surprised and asked, did I hear correctly? Xiang Yayun smiled at him, you heard me right, I am not short of work here, it has been solved. I already reported to Mr. Wu at noon, but she didn't tell you. Oh, you should have gone to the airport already. It's so magical, how did you solve it? Zhang Xiangbei asked. Learn what you do in Hangzhou and other cities and use temporary workers, Xiang Yayun said. Yes, there are no universities or factories near our farm, but I thought about it, there are college students who have returned and people working outside. People, they are back, can they become our temporary workers? I sent people to several villages near the farm, posted notices, and contacted the village committee, so that all the people who came back could come to our farm to work as temporary workers, and the money they earned could be used to support their families, or they could be used come to pay tuition and reduce the burden on your family. The effect is pretty good, and many people have signed up. Zhang Xiangbei understood that the reason for the shortage of workers in other cities was because the workers wanted to go home, but the students and workers here had already returned home. The workers and students who returned home were not anxious anymore. If there is a place where they can make money, they will definitely come. So what if it is New Year's Eve? They ride their bicycles to the farm to collect vegetables, and then they can have the New Year's Eve dinner when they return home from work. Haha, this is a good idea, why didn't we think of it? Zhang Xiangbei said with a smile. That's because you are not here, Xiang Yayun said. Also, for the farmers in need who are helped by our Suishui help activity, isn't this also an opportunity for them to increase their income? I will help them all, it's activated. Zhang Xiangbei's eyes lit up and he shouted, it's true, how could we forget them too? That's also because you are not here. They are just a number in your place. We often see each other face to face, and we remember them when we see them. By the way, we have also contacted the township middle schools near the farm. We also welcome students who are willing to work here. There are many people who have signed up. They are all children from poor families. They know that money is very tight at home, so they want to help the family. Student. You won't hire child labor, right? Zhang Xiangbei asked. They are all high school students, and they are still child laborers, Xiang Yun said. Don't worry, I have consulted that this kind of temporary workers do not involve issues with the labor law, and the work they do is not dangerous, isn't it? Planting and harvesting vegetables are all tasks they would do at home when they were in primary school. In this way, although this place is located in a rural area, there are a lot of labor resources. The key is how to organize them. As long as they are organized, the problem of employment will be solved. Zhang Xiangbei smiled and said, I didn't expect that if we really look for the problem that bothers us and makes people unable to sleep well at night, there are so many ways and channels. Yes, Xiang Yun, did Mr. Wu praise you? After praising her, she also said that we will quickly promote these methods of ours to other companies, especially the farmers assisted by Suishuabang. Let them participate, which can increase their income and solve our problems. Zhang Xiangbei kept nodding his head like a chicken pecking at rice. Yes, yes. Xiang Yun looked at Zhang Xiangbei, pursed her lips and smiled, and she said, Mr. Zhang, I have booked a hotel for tonight. Do you want to treat people from our company to dinner? Okay, okay, Zhang Xiangbei said. Of course, Xiang Yun smiled and said, Mr. Wu has already told me that wherever you go, you will treat local employees to dinner. When you come to Yinchuan, won't you become stingy? Mr. Wu also told me to I'll knock you and I'll make the decision on my own. Zhang Xiangbei laughed and said, Isn't it unnecessary for you to ask? I have already been held hostage by you, so I have to invite you even if you don't want to. Anyway, if you invite me, your family will eat it back, Xiang Yun muttered. What do you mean? Zhang Xiangbei asked. I was in the company at night. I ordered the food and drinks for men and women. I don't understand the principle of keeping wealth and wealth from outsiders. When you pay later, your father will take it back, Xiang Yun said. Zhang Xiangbei said, then when you sell vegetables to them, don't you also collect their money? Xiang Yun laughed and said, it's really good. I've been going around and around, but it hasn't been transferred out. Oh, what a loss. Xiang Yun suddenly shouted, and Zhang Xiangbei asked, what's wrong? I should arrange for you to stay at Renjia Travels B/U0026B for the night, so you won't be transferred out. Speaking to Yun, Zhang Xiangbei couldn't help but laugh. When they returned to the company, it was a busy scene. There were 2 desks set up outside and another conference table in the conference room. When Zhang Xiangbei and the others arrived, the chefs and waiters from food and drink had already arrived and were preparing. The chef knew Zhang Xiangbei. In the north, he went to Hangzhou for training. When Zhang Xiangbei often went to Gu Gong's place, he would go to food and drink. Zhang Xiangbei looked inside and outside, and said to Xiang Yun, can you also move the table in the conference room, so that everyone can be together and lively? Xiang Yun said, it's okay, but it's a bit crowded. Zhang Xiangbei said, what are you afraid of? Okay, I'll listen to you, Xiang Yun commanded his men and immediately rearranged them. Everyone put the 2 desks together and rearranged them, put the round table top brought by the dining man and woman, spread the tablecloth, and put on the glass turntable. The waiter set up the table and started folding flowers with napkins. Bei said, forget it, we're all on our own, don't bother yourself. Say no to Evian, you still have to have a sense of ritual. Xiang Evian called the other girls in the company and said, come on, let's learn from it and help fold it together. She said it was a help, but in fact it was not a help. The waiter had to teach them while folding, which actually delayed the time. Otherwise, she could fold the napkins for 3 tables in 10 minutes. The napkins haven't been folded yet. The chef said it was time to serve. The waiter stopped teaching them and quickly folded the napkins themselves and started to place the napkins. The joke came. Xiang Yun and the napkins folded by the girl were either substandard or too loose. The white swans were either swaying or unable to stand upright. Zhang Xiangbei said, "Where are you swans? You are just a bunch of chickens." Everyone laughed and shouted to Yun, "I cherish my broom. Come on, let's put these in front of ourselves." When the food arrived, Zhang Xiangbei asked the chef who was helping to serve the food to sit down and eat together. The chef quickly waved his hand and said, "No, no, we can't serve the food, we can only wait on the side for service." "What are you afraid of? Do you want me to call Xili?" Zhang Xiangbei asked. "Thank you, Mr. Zhang, but I don't want it anymore," the chef insisted and said to Zhang Xiangbei, "I know if you beat me, she will definitely agree, but I still don't want it. We will bring the food ourselves according to the regulations, and you can make it later. If you want to add vegetables or something, just tell me." What else did Zhang Xiangbei want to say? Xiang Yun sat on the edge and couldn't help but lean his head over to Zhang Xiangbei's ear and whispered to him, "Don't break the discipline of the brother company, be careful of your father spanking you, you are trying to undermine Xili." After Zhang Xiangbei heard this, he made a face at her and stopped insisting. Xiang Evian clapped his hands and shouted, "Everyone, be quiet. Now, we welcome Mr. Zhang to speak to us." Everyone in the office applauded, and Zhang Xiangbei stood up and said to everyone, "When I came here, I was still very uneasy. I know that everyone has a heavy task and a lot of pressure this year. It is also the time of the Spring Festival, and all our companies across the country are in short supply. I am also worried that your Ningxia branch will the company have more difficulties in this regard? I didn't expect to know until I got here that you have already thought of many countermeasures to solve this problem. To be honest, this was far beyond my expectation. At the same time, I was completely relieved and felt that I could relax and drink in a down-to-earth manner. Thank you. President Xiang asked me to speak, but I have nothing to say. Again, Ningxia are the backers of all our companies across the country. When you are stable, the country will be stable. On behalf of my brothers and sisters in all companies across the country, thank you." Zhang Xiangbei said, picked up the wine glass in front of him, raised it, and continued. "Come on, let's just think that today is New Year's Eve. Let's have New Year's Eve dinner together in advance. I'll give you a toast first." Everyone present raised their glasses, and someone jokingly shouted, "Mr. Zhang, today is New Year's Eve. Do you still need some lucky money?" Everyone laughed. Zhang Xiangbei drained the wine in his glass in one gulp and shouted, "Yes, it should be." He picked up his mobile phone, handed it to Xiang Yun, and said to her, "Everyone has it, 1,000 per person. I don't have their WeChat accounts. Look at how many people there are in total. I'll forward it to you first, and then you'll forward it to them." When everyone heard this, they all applauded, and many people shouted, "Thank you, Mr. Zhang." There are also those called "Thank you, boss." Xiang Yun asked in a low voice, "Do you have a share in the meeting? Are there also chefs and waiters?" "Yes, of course," Zhang Xiangbei said. Xiang Evian opened the transfer function in Xiangbei's WeChat, entered a set of numbers, then handed the phone back to Zhang Xiangbei, and said to him, "Password." Zhang Xiangbei entered the password and clicked OK. When the money arrived at Xiang Yun's place, Xiang Yun immediately picked up his mobile phone, pressed receive, and then turned around one by one. Everyone present laughed and took out their mobile phones. Waiting, not even eating food or wine. The first one to receive it shouted, it's here, haha, thank you, Mr. Zhang, thank you, boss. Next, everyone shouted, thank you, Mr. Zhang, thank you, boss. Everyone here had finished their meal, so Xiang Yun stood up and walked to the tea room, which was temporarily converted into a kitchen. The door leading to the office was closed, but all the windows were open to let out the oil smoke. All the dishes have been served. The stove here has been turned off. The cold air from outside has poured in. It is as cold as an ice cave. The chef has put on a coat and is cleaning the cooking utensils that are no longer needed and putting them away. Only in the box, the waiter is here to help because there is no need for service outside. Xiang Yun told them that he wanted to add their WeChat account. Mr. Zhang sent you a red envelope. The two of them looked at each other and laughed. Zhang Xiangbei stayed at the Kempinski Hotel in Jinfeng district at night. As soon as he returned to the room, he received a call from Director Gan of the village committee of Xiaofang's hometown. Director Gan is now Zhang Xiangbei's home delivery, the general manager of the agricultural development company there. Zhang Xiangbei listened to Director Gan and said to him, I'm in Yinchuan now. Let's do this. I'll come to Chongqing early tomorrow morning. The flight will be sent to you later. You can pick me up at Jiangbei Airport. Thank you to the old man, the fisherman at the pier, and the little janitor for your monthly pass. Thanks for all the votes and reading. Have a good evening everyone. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 2120. Zhang Xiangbei and his colleagues set up the agricultural development company in Xiaofang's hometown in Chongqing. During the preparations, Zaixianchuang and Director Kan's village cooperated and established it together. The villagers used their own land as shares. For this matter, Director Gan went to the countryside after the new year to report to the township secretary and mayor. When the secretary and the township chief heard about it, they thought it was a good project. They were still worrying about how to lead the villagers to become rich and well off this year and fulfill the requirements of their superiors. Unexpectedly, they were so happy that they suddenly became excited. In addition, Xiao Zhao, Xiao Fang, and Zhang Chen were already well known in the local area. We knew that they were big bosses who had the ability to do big things and make a lot of money. Now I heard that the partners they were cooperating with were the sons of Zhang Chen and Xiao Zhao. Personally, I think this project is feasible. Both the secretary and the township head believed that this was a good opportunity to change the face of their township, which had neither resources nor developed transportation. They felt that just one village, Director Gan, was not enough, and that the 4 nearby villages should be included. Incorporated? The township head asked Director Gan to call Xiaofang's cell phone. He spoke to Xiaofang himself. Xiaofang said, your idea is indeed good, but Zhang Xiangbei was the one who made the final decision on this matter. I can only tell him explain. In her heart, Xiaofang actually disapproved of this, because she had known since she was a child that the relationship between these villages was not good. In the past, when they were competing for water, land, and mountains, there were often armed fights between villages. In schools, students have naturally formed small gangs based on villages. Nowadays, there are fewer group fights, but the estrangement between each other has not been completely eliminated. Most of the people in their village have the surname Gan. When the village was still a brigade, people used to call their brigade the Gan family brigade. The other 4 were the Wang family brigade, the Xiao family brigade, the Chen family brigade and the Li family brigade. Today, those with the surname Gan rarely marry someone from the other 4 villages, preferring to look for someone farther away. Girls from the other 4 villages are not willing to marry into the village with the surname Gan. By forcefully bringing together several villages that were not very harmonious with each other, Xiaofang knew that this company would definitely be full of conflicts in the future. She said yes but didn't take it seriously at all. She put down the phone and didn't even tell Zhang Xiangbei about it. There was no news about Xiaofang here, so the mayor and secretary forced Director Gan to call Zhang Xiangbei directly in front of them. Of course, Director Gan knew why there was no news about Xiaofang. In his heart, he also felt that it would be troublesome to bring these villages together, but he had no way to refuse. The phone was connected, and the township head and secretary took turns talking to Zhang Xiangbei. Zhang Xiangbei didn't know the historical origins of these villages, but he just felt that the words of the township chief and secretary were very sincere. Based on their past experience in other places, the support of the local government was very beneficial to their work. Since the secretary and the township chief were so enthusiastic, Zhang Xiangbei agreed that the 4 villages would also become shareholders. For them, the bigger a single supply base is, the better. The bigger it is, the more convenient it is for planting arrangements, daily management, logistics and distribution, etc. Director Gan was listening secretly anxious, but he was helpless. He came out of the township government and quickly called Xiaofang. When Xiaofang heard this, he knew something was wrong. Xiaofang called Zhang Xiangbei back home, told him about the historical origins of these villages, and clearly opposed the establishment of such a mixed company. Even her grandfather, who never talked much, heard it and talked to Zhang Xiangbei. Bei said it would be difficult to get those villages together. Bei, don't ask for trouble. Zhang Xiangbei felt in a dilemma at this moment. He had already promised the secretary and the township chief. How could he go back on what he said? This matter was just a stone. He could only find a way to swallow it, otherwise, he would kill both the township chief and the secretary. Excuse me. But what Xiaofang and Grandpa said are of course reasonable. As long as this company is established, it will probably be a trouble. Xiaofang knew what Zhang Xiangbei was hesitating about, and knew that his face was difficult to pull off, and it was indeed difficult to pull it off. Xiaofang thought for a moment, and said to Zhang Xiangbei, Bei, I will find a way to deal with this matter, but if they call you again, don't answer it. Zhang Xiangbei said yes. Xiaofang called Director Gan, and the two discussed it on the phone for a long time. Xiaofang and Director Gan both thought that this matter was a bit tricky. Since Zhang Xiangbei had promised the secretary and the township chief, if he regretted it now, the secretary and the township chief would definitely they will be offended, and it is very likely that even if their village wants to do it, they will disagree together. Bei will definitely not come forward. Now you are the only one to come forward and talk to them, Xiaofang and Director Gan said. Xiaofang explained to Director Gan on the phone. Director Gan kept nodding and finally said, I understand, Sister Xiaofang. The next day, Director Gan went to the village and told the secretary and mayor that he had been thinking about setting up a company in the past 2 days. He felt that he had never set up a company before and had no experience. It's a big place and there are too many people. I'm afraid I won't be able to manage it. After much deliberation, I decided to go in separate steps. The first step is for their village to cooperate with Zaixiangxian to see how effective it is. If it doesn't work well, our village will die, and the scope of influence will not be so large. Otherwise, everything will be affected by that time. If villagers from 1 or 5 villages come to the countryside together, the trouble will be big. If the company's profits are good in the fall, we will expand the company's scale and include several other villages. Of course, these words were all taught by Xiaofang, and there was also a foreshadowing. Director Gan did not tell the secretary and the mayor, but kept it in his heart. When I was on the phone with Xiaofang yesterday, Director Gan said, I am very optimistic about this company, and I can't be wrong. Sister Xiaofang, What if we escape the spring and come autumn, the secretary and the township head bring up this matter again? Why are you so stupid? When the time comes, you won't blame the villagers for this matter. You just say that everyone disagrees with the cooperation. Let's do it well. Why should we do it with them? If we want to do it, let those villages do it on their own. Come on, public anger is hard to offend, what else can the village do to you? Just avoid the limelight first, Xiao Fang said. Director Gan chuckled. The township chief and secretary heard what Director Gan said. They thought it was reasonable at the time and had nothing to say. After Director Gan left, the more they thought about it, the more they felt that something was wrong. When had this person named Gan ever been so high profile? If he wanted to die, he would kill them. The village must be good to benefit everyone? The two of them felt that there must be something fishy here. The secretary and the mayor were not fools. They murmured for a long time and felt that something must have happened with Xiao Fang or Zhang Chen. Otherwise, Director Gan would not have the courage to overturn what their son had decided. The township head picked up the phone and called Director Gan and asked him for Xiao Fang's phone number. He decided to call Xiao Fang himself. Xiao Fang and Director Gan had told them not to give Zhang Xiangbei's phone number to the secretary and the township chief, including hers. Now the township chief asked Director Gan for Xiao Fang's phone number. Director Gan quickly said that the phone was in the office. I'm outside now. I'll tell you when I get back. After waiting for a long time and no call came, the township head called again. This time he did not call Director Gan's mobile phone, but called the village committee. The person who answered the phone was the village women's director and asked where Director Gan was. After the village committee meeting, she was asked to ask Director Gan to answer the phone. Director Gan came here bravely and told the township chief that he remembered it wrong and left Xiao Fang's phone number at home. Wait a minute. The mayor suddenly got angry and shouted into the microphone. You still have a safe at home, and you put your phone number in the safe, right? Damn it, come to the countryside right away. Damn it, nowadays, whose phone number is not stored in a mobile phone, but written in an address book like in the early years? Is the address book stored here and there? Director Gan didn't come to the village that day, and he even turned off his phone. When he called the village committee, everyone who answered the phone said that Director Gan was not there, and he didn't know where he was going or when he would be back. The mayor and secretary were so angry that their suspicions were confirmed. The secretary had an idea and shouted, "Call Lao Niu and ask Lao Niu for it." The Lao Niu the secretary mentioned is Xiao Fang's uncle. He used to be the deputy mayor and township chief in this township. Then he went to the county to become the deputy county chief. Now he is the county chief of the neighboring county. The old township chief will definitely have Xiao Fang. Telephone. Don't fight. Why don't we go to the head of the village and ask him to take action, the head of the village said. In the countryside, uncle is the eldest. If this uncle, Lao Niu, is willing to speak, there is no reason for Xiao Fang to be disobedient. The secretary agreed that the two of them would take some local specialties and drive to the neighboring county. On the way, the township head gave Xiao Fang her aunt, Mayor Niu, called her and told her that she wanted to eat the food she cooked. Come on, Chief Niu said. The secretary, the mayor, and the mayor of Gan County, the mayor of Niu, are old acquaintances. The mayor of Gan is the deputy township chief here. When the mayor of Niu was cooking in the township canteen, the secretary was the clerk of the township at that time, and the mayor worked at the agricultural machinery station. Personnel. The township chief and Niu township chief said that he and the secretary happened to be in a neighboring county for business, and wanted to see the fellow township chief and Niu township chief. Niu township chief was very enthusiastic and said, "Come directly to the house, I am at home, and I will be at home in the evening. Have dinner." The two of them arrived at County Magistrate Kan's house. When they had dinner together, They told Magistrate Gan about the joint venture. Magistrate Gan still had feelings for his hometown and the place where he worked. After hearing this, he also felt that it was a good thing. He told them that if Xiaofang wasn't his niece and needed to avoid suspicion, he would have lured Zai Xianshui to their county. The head of the township and the fellow head talked about the phone call. County Magistrate Gan immediately said, "If you want a phone number, I will call Xiaofang now. I will tell her that she must support you." Xianren Ban Ban, you three are harried. Mayor Niu couldn't sit still and cursed, "People have to go to the United States to attract investment. For such a big thing, you two have to go there. Will Hang Cheng die?" This kind of thing means beating gongs and drums face to face, and having a hammer on the phone. As Mayor Niu said, he picked up his phone and called Xiaofang, chatting here and there. After putting down the phone, Mayor Niu and the secretary said, "I'll tell you if you heard anything. Xiaofang is in Hangzhou and won't go out recently." In their home, Xiaofang is the one who makes the decision. Zhang Chen and Bai Bei they all listened to Xiaofang. "Yes, you go there as soon as possible. When you get to Hangzhou, find Xiaofang and call me right in front of her. I will ask her to help you. After all, the countryside is also their hometown." When Zhang Chen and Xiao Zhao came back, "You forgot, yes, Xia Zhao's household registration has still been moved out from the township. This is a good thing. You can go over," County Mayor Gan and Secretary Township Chief said. As soon as the two people heard that it made sense, they immediately decided to take a trip to Hangzhou. Chief Niu told them, "Take that Gan Waer and the village's carrot seal with you. When we get there, we'll meet with you. Once we've negotiated, we'll sign and stamp it, and it's a done deal." Thank you book friend 854-974 for the reward of 2 fishes. Thank you for knowing whether the book is good or not. The boy who time traveled into the uncle's body, Lemon Stone Spring Hodgepodge, Kitty Sun, Win San Liu, and How, White Horse Xiaolong, Zipanjiang 1, take a look at it, and the monthly pass for Tambao. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all good health. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 2121. The secretary and the mayor discussed this on the way back. Director Gan must be taken to Hangzhou together, and he should not be informed in advance. If he knew in advance, this little son might inform him when they arrived. Hang Cheng, Xiaofang avoided it. Anyway, they already had Zhang Chen's address. When Chief Niu gave them Zhang Chen's address, he also helped them with an idea and told them to go directly to Zhang Chen when they arrived in Hangzhou. He would call Xiaofang and Bai Bei over. Mayor Niu said that this nephew and son-in-law has such a big business, and I don't even know how he started it. He is the most honest person, and he has no fancy ideas at all. When you see him, you don't need to beat around the bush, just talk to him. To be honest, he might even help you." County Magistrate Gan kept nodding his head and said that Mayor Niu was right. The next day, the township informed the village secretary and Director Gan that they would have a meeting in the township at 1 p.m. They were not allowed to ask for leave. They could only arrive early and not be late. Director Gan knew that he had gone to the countryside. During the first half of the meeting, he must have been scolded by the secretary and the township chief, but he had to go. He had no choice but to go with the secretary. All the villagers agreed on the establishment of the company, and the 2 village committees also met to discuss and agree. They had already started the preliminary work to determine and divide the shares of each household. Unexpectedly, the villagers came so suddenly, so it was delayed. The village secretary is also opposed to the merger of several villages to form a company, but he cannot say that facing the township chief and secretary, the director is more arrogant than him. He is sent by the township to be the village secretary. If you are asked to come today, he can be asked to do it tomorrow. Come on, the director is elected by the villagers and has a term of office. During his term of office, as long as he does not violate laws or discipline and is not dismissed by the villagers, even the township cannot do anything to him. The secretary and Director Gan said, "You charge and I will cover." "What if I fall down?" Director Gan asked. "Then I'll take the explosive bag from your hand and worry about it," the secretary said. Director Gan laughed and said, "Yes, with your words, my sacrifice will be worth it." When the two people arrived in the village, they saw that there were no traces of the secretaries and directors of other villages. They knew that they had fallen into a trap and that the meeting was just a cover. It was too late to escape. The director was called into the car by the secretary and the township chief and said that they were going together. In the county, the secretary was stopped by the township propaganda committee member. After getting on the bus, the township head asked Director Gan if he had brought his ID card, and Director Gan said he had. "Show me." The township chief said that Director Gan took out his ID card and handed it to the township chief. The township chief looked at it, took it in his hand, and did not return it to him. He then said, "Show me your phone." Director Gan didn't know what was going on and handed him the mobile phone in his hand. The township head picked up the mobile phone and ID card, waved them towards Director Gan, and said to him, "I will keep these two things for you for the time being." Director Gan was stunned, and the secretary sitting in the front passenger seat laughed. When the car arrived at the county, the driver did not stop. Director Gan asked, "Where are we going?" "Don't be nagging, I'll take you to Chongqing to set up the Dragon Gate formation," said the township head. Director Gan knew something was wrong and asked, "Am I a prisoner being held by you, or am I being kidnapped?" The township head scolded, "Don't be sentimental. You are a pauper and an ugly person. Kidnapping you is a loss-making business." When the car arrived in Chongqing, it did not enter the city. Instead, it drove onto Jiangbei International Airport. Director Gan asked, "Who are we picking up at the airport?" The township chief did not answer the question, but returned the ID card to Director Gan. He still had the mobile phone in his hand, but before returning it to him, the township chief said to him, "Let's go to Hangzhou." Director Gan was shocked. Only then did he understand why the mayor wanted to seize his cell phone. He shouted, "I didn't bring anything. You're not going on a blind date, what should you bring?" "A towel for washing your face and a toothbrush for brushing your teeth. They are all available in the hotel," said the secretary in the front row. "There are also disposable paper shorts in the room. You can wash them, hang them on the air conditioner outlet, and dry them overnight." The mayor said that even the driver laughed. The driver drove very fast, and they caught up with the 4:20 flight. When they arrived in Hangzhou, it was already past 6 o'clock, and it was already dark outside. The three of them walked towards the exit, and Director Gan suddenly called out, "Brother-in-law." Director Gan led the township chief and secretary towards a middle-aged man at the exit. The middle-aged man was waving to them. Director Gan approached and introduced each other to them. Only then did the secretary and township chief realize that this man was its Zhang Chen, Boss Zhang. Director Gan asked Zhang Chen, "Why is it such a coincidence that you are also picking up people here?" Zhang Chen smiled and said, "What a coincidence, I'm here to pick you up." Not only Director Gan, but also the secretary and the township head were surprised. Director Gan asked, "How did you know we were coming?" "My aunt called me and told me that for those of you who are unfamiliar with Hangzhou, let me take good care of you," Zhang Chen said. The secretary and the mayor looked at Zhang Chen and felt that what Mr. Niu said was right. This guy was real. Such a big boss, just because of Mr. Niu's words, he went to the airport to pick up people. In fact, the boss, when a driver came over, they were very grateful. Zhang Chen drove the car directly to the entrance of the half-acre field building, led Director Gan and the others upstairs, and said it was getting late, so he should go upstairs to eat first. I have already arranged a place for you. The three people quickly said thank you, Mr. Zhang. After entering the Tuxianjiayuan hotel, the three of them were dumbfounded. This was the first time they had seen such a large and luxurious hotel. This hotel and this building all belonged to Boss Zhang. In the past, they only knew about his business. It was very big, but they had no idea how big it was. At this moment, the three of them were all shocked, and they felt even more fond of Zhang Chen's humble attitude. The four people sat down in the box and chatted while drinking. The secretary and the township chief remembered what Chief Niu told them. The two of them honestly told Zhang Chen the purpose of their visit to Hangzhou this time. Zhang Chen nodded, immediately picked up his mobile phone, called Zhang Xiangbei, and asked him to come to the box of Tuxianjiayuan Hotel immediately. Then, he stood up and said to them, "You can do whatever you want, I'll go outside and make another call." Zhang Chen walked to the corridor outside, dialed Xiaofang's phone, and told her that Director Gan from your hometown, as well as the secretary and the township head were here. When Xiaofang heard this, she immediately understood their purpose. Xiaofang said, "They are here for the general. I want to avoid them. By the way, let Bai Bei avoid them too." "It's better not to do it," Zhang Chen said, "I've come all the way here, so I can't treat you like this. If you have any problems, it's best to tell everyone in person." Zhang Chen knew why the secretary and the township chief came, and he also knew what Xiaofang meant to avoid. When Xiaofang and her father talked to Zhang Xiangbei that night, Zhang Chen heard the specific reasons. Xiaofang sighed and said, "Okay, I'll come over right away and tell me the box number." Zhang Chen walked back to the box, sat down, and said to the secretary and others, "I just called Xiaofang. She was very happy to hear that you were here, and she is on her way now." The secretary and the township chief were all happy after hearing this. Zhang Xiangbei and Xiaofang came in one after another. In fact, the two of them talked on the phone while they were on the road. Zhang Xiangbei knew that the secretary and mayor of his mother's hometown had rushed to Hangzhou. It seemed that they were connected. "And Xiaofang, there is no way to push it any further." Zhang Xiangbei and Xiaofang said, "Either we agree, anyway, even if those four villages are merged, the company below us will still be small, even if it is chaotic, it will not affect the overall situation. And Xiaofang, I have been thinking in the past 2 days that things are changing. It may not be as terrifying and absolute as we thought. This kind of conflict and contradiction caused by interests is not limited to that place. It's a very common situation, it happens everywhere. If there is a problem we will solve it when the time comes." Xiaofang said, "Okay, let's talk about it when we get there." Sitting down, Xiaofang told the secretary and township chief one by one about the issues she was worried about. The township chief did not shy away. He said that there is such a problem, not only between villages, but also between two brothers. It's a contradiction, but don't worry, our township government will support you, there is nothing to be afraid of. While the township chief was talking to Xiaofang and the others, the secretary secretly sent a WeChat message to County Chief Gan. "Old Mayor, here we are, having dinner with Xiaofang, Zhang Chen, Zhang Xiangbei, and the others." Not long after the WeChat was sent, Xiaofang's phone rang. She looked at it and saw that it was her uncle. Xiaofang picked up the phone. The uncle asked, "Have the people from the village arrived yet?" Xiaofang said, "Yes, we are together now." The uncle said, "Xiaofang, compared with other townships, it is still very difficult for the township. It is not easy for the comrades in the township to work now. This project will be a win-win project if it is completed. Let Bai Bei help them." Xiaofang said, "Okay, I understand, uncle. The overall situation has basically been decided. Next, the two parties will discuss specific matters of cooperation. First of all, This company has changed from the original Zaixianshuang cooperation with Director Gan and his village to one led by the township government, and with the following 5 it is a village cooperative company in which villagers from 5 villages use their own land as shares. The next day, the township head and Zhang Xiangbei signed a cooperation agreement. After returning home, the township government set up a working group for this purpose and went to each village to carry out mobilization work. The Chongqing branch of Zaixianshu also assigned people to assist in the preparations for the establishment of the company. Finally, Yubei Agricultural Development Co., Limited was established, with Zhang Xiangbei as the chairman, Director Gan as the general manager, the village directors of the other 4 villages and a person assigned by the Chongqing branch of Zaixianshuang as the deputy general manager. After the company was established, there were indeed constant conflicts. Although they were all minor conflicts, there were always stumbling blocks. Some people had objections to the measurement of the land, thinking that the amount of land they owned was undersized. In fact, the part he said was undersized turned out to be roads, and land rights were not even recognized when confirming the rights. There are also people who think that their land is better than others, and the shares are only allocated according to the land area rather than the quality, which is very unreasonable. Some people also think that since everyone is a shareholder, why are shareholders and shareholders not paid the same salary, and they suffer a loss? There are countless contradictions and opinions like this, but behind every contradiction and conflict, there are actually human reasons. The 6 directors and deputy directors respectively represent the interests of 6 departments. Next, privately, each is encouraging his own people to make trouble, even if it is unreasonable, they still have to make trouble, so that at least they can have fun. But this time, Director Gan called Zhang Xiangbei and said that there were more than a dozen people clamoring and they wanted to withdraw their shares. This is a big deal. After the company was established, all the land was replanned and renovated, including the greenhouses, which were all in one piece. Now someone wants to withdraw his shares. How can he withdraw his shares and dig out a piece from the middle for him? The plane had already flown over Chongqing and was landing. Zhang Xiangbei looked down through the porthole window. The whole of Chongqing was looming in the clouds and mist. Zhang Xiangbei smiled bitterly. This really looked like their Yubei Agricultural Development Co., Limited. Everything seems to be seen clearly, and everything seems to be invisible. Thank you Nankei Yiman 79, not the monthly ticket for Impossible World. Thanks for all the votes and reading. Have a good evening everyone.